It's thinking.
There it is. I
All
see
right,
it live.
we are live now. Welcome in, everyone. I hope you're all having a fabulous day. Many blessings going out to you and good ways. We are appreciative of coming on this platform and being able to share messages of importance out to everyone. One topic that has came up a lot recently is people struggling and losing the hope of when you think everything is lost. People are battling depression and all other sorts of different types of things that are affecting their daily lives. So what we wanted to do is come together and be able to share a message and give you guys some tips that we have learned over the years and be able to help assist you and bettering your daily lives. So again, thank you all. Craig, I know you wanted to kind of share a message and we'll get this thing rolling.
Yeah, we're just going to have an open discussion back and forth here. I've I've had segments of my life to where I felt like things needed to be going better, and I've helped a lot of friends who have been down. I've known a lot of people who have taken their own lives, and I think that's unacceptable for a lot of reasons. And I really just wanted to have this chat to encourage people tonight. And I'm hoping that when we're done, those that weren't able to catch it live, share it with everyone that you care about so that nobody gets left behind. You know, with the holiday season, so many people see so many celebrations and they can feel like, hey, everybody's having a good time but me. Everybody has family and a perfect life but me. And most of the cases, that's not accurate. It's not true. So many people, I think a lot of us sense it, post on social media the life that they wish that they were having. And so, they'll post their best pictures. Like even me, I don't like to post a picture where I'm standing sideways and my old man gut is hanging. That's embarrassing for me. So I'm not going to post that, that's human nature. So when we see in everybody with their family and the presents and the celebration, it seems like, oh, everybody's having this awesome time. And why am I not having that experience right now? And that can cause people to feel a little bit down and have an inaccurate outlook, and just cause things to start feeling like they're in not so great a place. And there's so many ways to ground your ruck, so to speak, to release that burden, let it fall to the ground where it belongs, and have a more accurate outlook and perspective, and get happy about what you've got. And I know that's what we've been learning to do increasingly at Vets for Child Rescue with the mission that we've got, man. We've been fighting for the little ones. And it's gotten frustrating at times when we've wanted to make big progress and we've got the capability in a lot of ways to move the ball way upfield. And when it doesn't go that way, sometimes we're like, man, that's frustrating, or even that's a little bit of a downer. And then we catch ourselves and go, whoa, wait a minute, man. We've got a privilege where we're allowed to serve and fight for the little ones. And we see that it's making a difference. And in fact, so much so that it's rattling some very nasty people to squabble and cry about what we're doing. And because we're upsetting, the apple cart for a lot of predators who harm children. And we got to realize things for what they really are. So, and with the holiday season approaching, I really wanted to have this honest discussion, not with false motivation and pump people up, rah, 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 but to kind of gear down and kind of wade through what causes us to feel a certain way, and how can we gain a more accurate and healthy and productive perspective, because you really have control of that. Each and every one of us have the control of our outlook, how we perceive what's going on around us and within us. And once you kind of break that code, stand by, because life's at your disposal. Then you can do good and have it really resonate and really start gaining momentum. And so we want to have that discussion a little bit. So Tyler and I will go back and forth tonight, and we'll do this for about an hour and just kind of love on people a little bit and share some tools and techniques we've learned, and hopefully leave better people better off out there. Because man, I've gained so much from friends and family over the years, and I believe in giving back. It feels good to give back. I believe we're created to be givers.
Yes.
When we give with nothing in return, and we don't want anything in return, and we won't accept anything in return, there's something that happens, folks. I'm telling you. And that's one part of this. Whenever I've had somebody that's been really down, I've gone and gotten them and said, "Get up, come with me. We're going to go do something good for people we might not even know." And it's amazing how getting up and out and breathing and moving and helping others, and even some very simple ways, if it's genuine, man, it just feels good. And body chemistry starts changing, and the body starts getting oxygenated, and outlook starts improving. And then there's this momentum and this self-perpetuating um, force that's so positive and feels so good. And that's just part of in our DNA, the way that we were divinely created to walk in a heart of gratitude. And we can talk very specific about gratitude, but that's really what we're going to have is that a chat just about these things, and leave people empowered and more capable to determine how they perceive themselves and their surroundings, and pick our shots on how we want to behave and what we want to do in this world. How
Yeah.
about you, Tyler? What do you think, brother?
Yes, I really agree a lot with what you have said. Being able to find some sort of purpose to of giving gratitude in what you do in your daily life, it makes you appreciate things a lot more, and about the positive connection of everything that you do. Once you start doing something positive in your life and really start focusing on it, the other aspects of your life will start getting more and more positive as it starts feeding off of each other. It's a positive negative energy type thing, and I'm determined to see people in much better atmospheres in their life, because we need to be out there helping one another and motivating each other to keep doing the good thing. That way we can get a lot more things accomplished in our daily lives. So yes, I totally agree. We do have a lot of information to be able to share with y'all. I do want to say, first thing first, if you do have an issue and you need to talk to someone quick, there is a hotline out there. It is 988 press 1, and someone will be on that hotline and be able to talk to you and help you work through the steps of being able to get yourself under control. So if you need professional help, this is one way of getting it out there. That's the national hotline, the 3-digit number, which is 988. If someone can put it in the chat so that way I can put it up here on the screen, I'll share that out there. Um, so make sure about that. Do you have some topics that you would like to discuss, Craig? That
Yeah, I think one thing is let me start off with this Wim Hof breathing procedure. So you guys can look up, I believe it's WIMHOF, Wim Hof breathing. This guy, he likes to get in the cold water, and he has a breathing technique. It's basically hyperoxygenating yourself, but he has a technique, a system of doing it. And you can type that into YouTube, and there'll be who are however many dozen videos on how to do this breathing. It's basically just a deep breathing technique, and it's a system that he believes in doing every day. And I know people that do it and swear by it. I've started trying it and adding it to my prayer and meditation time, and I love it. I love it. So one of the things that I noticed from being a Navy SEAL is the first 2 hours, unless we were at wartime, and even sometimes then too, the first 2 hours of the day was physical training. Keep your body hard, keep your body healthy, because in that mission, it was very physical. Now, you're mentally solving problems, but you need your physical body to carry the equipment to and from the fight. and to carry out the fight and carry your friends and equipment out of the fight and so forth. So it's a very physically demanding job. So, we were always very physically fit. Well, I'm telling you, for the rest of the day, once you oxygenate your body with that level of physical training, and I'm not saying everybody has 2 hours to do that in the morning, but you do have 5 or 10 minutes where you can do some Wim Hof breathing and really get your cells oxygenated through it, and the tingle that you feel from that oxygen buzz, and the endorphins, and the dopamine from it is really really good, and just kind of helps lift everything up. There's a really quick thing that, man, if you ever found yourself stalled throughout the workday, you're like, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go home and have some coffee, or put my feet up and kiss my wife and chase my kids or whatever around the house, and just have some fun, or you're just stalling out, or you're taking a test or something. And that Wim Hof breathing technique really, really kind of helps turn the lights on mentally, and your emotions pick up. And it's just a quick and easy, healthy thing to add to whatever else you do in your life. So that's one thing I think I wanted to cover, because it's pretty cool. And I've practiced different breathing techniques over the years for different reasons. And that one's one, though, that really is a routine that you want to get into daily for your overall health.
Yeah, do you think it might be beneficial to kind of go over an example of how to perform this breathing technique, or any other techniques of breathing control that you may have up your sleeve?
Well, Wim Hof, my understanding of it is you breathe in and out without hesitation. So in, like that. He does it fairly quickly. I think it's like 20, 25 cycles, and then he leaves it out for 60 seconds. So
Wow.
upon exhale, you just stop and you leave it out, and you wait 1 minute, and then you breathe in. And at the top of the inhale, you stop and you wait 15 seconds, and then you release it, and then you breathe normally for a few minutes, and then you do it again. I think he does that 3 times. So that's just an example of Wim Hof, but go and watch his techniques, and he'll talk you through it specifically. That's really good. For me, another one, as far as heart rate, if there's a sudden violent confrontation, or a sudden threat, or anything else that psychologically or physiologically causes your heart rate to spike, what happens is, in an emergency like that, your heart rate goes so high that your body shunts off the blood flow to your extremities. That means your arms and legs. So your hands will go a little bit numb. We call it wood hands in the SEAL teams. And that's, from who knows how long ago that they figure that may have been a beneficial fight or flight mechanism for shunting off the blood flow. Let's say in ancient times, if a wolf was eating your leg off, well, shunting off the blood flow um, to those arteries to the extremities would have kept you from bleeding out, and so it pools the blood to your vital organs for survival. Well, that's great, except for the most intelligent outermost portion of your brain is apparently deemed an extremity by your body, and it shunts off the blood flow to your outer cortex and frontal lobe also, which turns you into a dummy for a while, about half an hour, until, if you're allowed to relax, then in about half an hour, your senses start to return, and the lights start coming on. Your computer hard drive kind of comes back up, and green lights across the board, and you can make rational, intelligent decisions again. But that technique for me, and I learned it through running stress courses and wearing a heart rate monitor and just monitoring my heart rate during stress courses and during running and stuff, and on a monitor, having my blood pressure done, and this during physicals, is simply to prolong the exhale. So I'm breathing in and out through my nose. When I exhale, the longer I make my exhale last, the faster I can see my rate dropping. From 150 to 130 to 120. Boom, 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 down. And That's really calming, and it allows the veins to open back up, or the arteries to open back up rather, and that blood flow to return to all parts of the body, including the most intelligent portion of your brain, carrying that oxygen, and your intelligence um, increases again. So you're using all of your brain. So that's another one. It's just a breathing technique to relax your body and get it out of that emergency fight or flight mode. So in and out through your nose, exhale through the mouth, or exhale as slowly and make it last as long as you can under the circumstances. Sometimes if there's a lot of physical demand, you still need to breathe rather quickly, but the longer you can make it last, the quicker the heart rate will drop, and then your intelligence returns. So you can use that one out as well. It's kind of cool. I didn't really intend to go into that one tonight, but
Yeah, that is really good information because I've actually been using that technique for a bit now. Because I deal with some different types of symptoms out there, depression, anxiety, and such. And sometimes I get myself worked up behind the scenes, and being able to control your breath and getting the oxygen up into your brain helps you be able to deal with different tasks that you are dealing with at the time a whole lot easier. Then you can focus and get yourself under control. This is the reason why we are trying to get this information out there, give you guys a tool to go out there and be able to help yourselves. So
yeah.
yeah.
One thing I wanted to say, man, if you're feeling down and obstacles in front of you feel like they're insurmountable, like, oh, this debt or this health crisis or this the destruction of this one relationship is something that I can't see myself getting around. I just can't get past it. It's just too big. The pain is just too great. I would have you consider this thought. Nobody ever told us that this life was intended to be fair or easy.
Yes.
Look for it in the Bible. Look for fairness where God says, well, if you do this and that and the other thing, life's going to be fair for you. It's never written, because that's not the intent. This life is a development field. It's a process that we go through as souls, as spirits in this temporary 3D physical human body to experience all of the things that life has to throw at us. The good, the bad, the indifferent. And in every challenge, in every experience, we have the opportunity to improve how we behave through it, to show more grace through a victory than you might have the time before or in years past, to not lash out and bite at those you care about and harm them and hurt them and cause them pain when in hindsight you wish you hadn't.
Yeah.
Every single thing that happens is an opportunity, it's a do-over. It may not be the exact same scenario, but each experience is an opportunity to again decide. We have free will. That's one thing. It's a human superpower, if you will. We have free will to decide how we navigate each and every experience that falls on our plate in this life. And in times when I've fallen down in my youth and screamed and cried and cursed people and lashed out and bit at those around me, afterward I reflected back on it and felt not great about it. And then in other times when I had handled myself better, I realized, man, that felt good. That's a lot more of who I want to be. And guys, that's what the process is all about. I had a father who was such a giving man and such a spiritually righteous human being. I didn't think I could ever touch that. And I didn't, for a long time, I wasn't inclined to try. And I'm not trying to be him now, but I am trying to, I value who he was and what his ideals were and what he figured out that this life is about. And I do want to pursue and get as far in that direction with the rest of my life as I can. because he had it figured out. He understood. He wasn't attracted to all the things that cause harm, death, and destruction in this world. All the things you picture a typical man, what kind of things get men in trouble? He wasn't attracted by that. He was so singularly focused on his spiritual growth and helping others to where he was clear. And it was an amazing example to live with and watch him, live this out every day. But now, after living a lot and succeeding and failing and living through triumph and tragedy and everything else, man, I'm choosing differently than I did in my younger years. And and when we realize that for everything that happens, it's not like God says, "Here, Craig, here's a tragedy that I want you to navigate." No, we have free will, and sometimes we choose poorly. And that poor decision has ramifications that cause destruction, sickness, and death, and pain, and whatever else. And what other people choose poorly, especially if they're in charge of some things, it avalanches, cascades down upon us. So tragedy happens because humans are inherently imperfect. That's the whole point. We're imperfect and we're allowed to navigate through this life and figure these things out and elevate at all times, elevate who we are as souls. We have that power and that option. So if you see the obstacle in front of you, oh my gosh, this divorce, this cancer, this breakup, this job loss, this repossession, or whatever it is that life's throwing at us at the moment, to say it's insurmountable, I can't get past it, would be a lie to yourself, really, because what you do have is the ability to decide, okay, yeah, this is heavy, this is a big one. God, help me get through this one, because one thing we all need to know: you're never alone. We all have a divine creator who
Yes.
created everything that we can see and everything that we can't see. And I don't believe that this life on earth is most of what's going on with the universe. I think this is a relatively small experience. The Bible says this life, this physical life on earth, relative to eternity that we spend, is as a vapor of smoke. So it's kind of like that, folks. It's not that long. So when you see an obstacle in front of you, you're like, okay, right now, I don't feel like I can get past that. Realize that you have the power to decide that that's not how I'm going to perceive it. I'm going to decide right now how I'm going to behave through this. That's what really matters. The obstacle, the challenge is not really the issue. Cosmically, spiritually speaking, the thing is not the thing. How we navigate it is the thing. That is the point. How will I respond to this? And that we can choose, and that we can't blame on anyone else. That's us. We have to own
Yeah.
it. If I light off into my brother Tyler, he bumps into me and I turn around and I curse him up and down and I throw him down and I throw food on him and I just make a complete idiot of myself. I can't blame anyone for that. It's me. Might I have felt upset? Might I have misunderstood why he bumped into me or been having a bad day and overreacted? Yeah, but it's nobody's fault, right? There have been maybe a lot of worldly influences on how I feel or what's been done to me, but how I behave is only my decision. I have the total power for that. And we each have to realize that there's a lot of power there. So choosing how we navigate these obstacles is the thing. And
Yes.
when you do it well, folks, I'm a walking, talking example. I've, like a lot of humans, I've tried things in a lot of different ways, and I've behaved in ways that I'm not that proud of in my youth, and throughout my life sometimes. And when I do it better, oh man, it feels incredible. And so my wife and I are getting excited about life like we never have before. We're figuring out some things spiritually. We're elevating like never before at an accelerated pace. And I'm starting to get pumped about things. And I don't care what tragedy happens anymore. I don't care. It's not going to affect me the way that it used to because I've learned the perspective of what life is all about and why we're here. And whenever we do it well, I believe our creator's looking at us and smiling and going, "Atta boy, atta girl, keep it up. You're doing good. You're doing so much better this time." And we get bogged down with this guilt and um, this unforgiveness of ourselves.
Yeah.
And when we lay down our mistakes and we say, "You know what? I'm sorry." And repentance means changing your behavior, right? Not just telling somebody in a box, "I'm sorry," knowing you have full intent on going and doing it back every week for the rest of your life. That's not repentance. God doesn't honor or respect that, nor should he. But repentance is genuine behavior change. So you can't trick God, right? He created you, holds us each together at the subatomic particle level. So when we're genuinely regretful of a poor behavior, we set that aside and we change our behavior. It's done in God's mind, and it's biblical. I should have written down a bunch of scriptures. It's over. It doesn't exist anymore. That's biblical. Let it go. Don't carry that burden around anymore. It's a fresh moment. Walk forward with a proud face and a smile and do better in your new, more positive outlook. That's the way that it works. And I challenge anybody to trip me up on that if you think I have it wrong, man. But no, I've read it too much, and I know that that's the way that it works. So for everything, no matter how ugly, there is a beauty in this nasty, rancid. Well, shoot, I'm gonna take my nephew's cancer as just an example. My nephew was in high school, healthy boy, happy family, loving Christian home. He got a very serious type of cancer, life threatening. Anyone else would have written him off. How tragic. This poor boy's going to lose his life. Nasty, rancid thing. A lot of parents would throw their hands up and start cursing God. Why us? Why our boy? He's so good. And that boy, his cancer, he kept the faith all the way through it. I don't know how he had that strength of character. His name's Matthew Hogan. He walked through that with a level of faith that was so inspiring and beautiful. And his parents loved and prayed and kept the faith through it, although I'm sure highly concerned. God has taken that nasty, rancid cancer and turned it all the way around. And now Matthew is perfectly healthy. He's past it. He's going on to become a doctor. He's over in Israel. He's learning Hebrew. There are so many beautiful things. God is shining his light through that young man. And how and why did that happen in that case? I don't know that I can say for certain exactly why God changes things, but I can tell you one thing. I know that God honors it when we keep the faith. He's big on faith, big on it. It's again and again and again. And when Jesus was going around healing, do you believe? Yes, because your faith, you are healed. Stand up, get up, rise up, come forth, you name it. And faith is strong, so we are to keep the faith. So don't ever see an obstacle ever again with the rest of the days of your life as being insurmountable. It is only a circumstance for you to navigate in a way that you and only you choose that you're going to navigate it. Now, in the SEAL team, going through buds, was very hard training, and I was honestly and genuinely just glad to be there and just glad to get through it. But it just so happened that I was good at a few things, and one of them was the obstacle course. And I looked at the obstacle course that the Marines would come out there and help each other over. They'd spend half a day, helping each other get up and over the obstacles and all that stuff. We ran it single guy, fast as you could, on the high ropes and all that. Just monster through it because we were in that kind of physical condition. But it was, some of the guys dreaded the obstacle course because a lot of the obstacles were high. It was dangerous, very physically demanding. It would smoke you. And I took it as a challenge. I got through it. Apparently, I don't remember exactly how it started for me, but I know I started doing well at it. And next thing you know, I was the fastest guy in my buds class. And then I started setting records. And that's where it became fun for me. So in the same class of bud students, you had some guys who dreaded that evolution. Oh, it's obstacle course this morning. Man, I don't really feel up to that. That's a crusher. And you've got young Craig going, woohoo, we get to the obstacle course. Just watch how I'm going to shine. Same obstacle, same challenge, but different perspective. And for me, that positive outlook and that perspective as an opportunity to shine and show myself what I could do. I want to see if I can shave 3 seconds off today. And I'm going to breathe deeper, and I'm just going to be smoother, and I'm going to just go and go and go. I'm just going to see what I can do. That was fun. And can we not do that with any challenge in life? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And I invite you to do it. I invite you to do it. And when you decide that you're going to walk in gratitude, and that's what I'll talk about next, but I'm going to let Tyler talk first. But for everything, there's a reason, a purpose, and a plan. So when you see an obstacle that you decide is insurmountable and you can't get over, around, or through, if you think for a minute that you want to check out of life, you want to take your own life, what you would do if you had would be the worst tragedy, not only for those that care about you, that you didn't slow down to think about and give a chance to talk with you and love on you a little bit, but for God to show you and for you to show yourself what happens on the other side of that seemingly insurmountable obstacle, because that's where the beauty is. From the pain comes the beauty. Once you're past it, then you look back like Matthew Hogan cheering after cancer, saying, man, I behaved in a way that I feel pretty good about it. And for God to take something tragic and turn it into triumph and shine the light and show so many people that that's how life works, when you allow it to, and when you let God move. So that's what I want people to know. We'll go into the heart of gratitude technique here after I let my buddy talk. I've been hogging the mic, but those are some things I just feel really strongly I wanted to get out. I want to share with people. I do hope that you use them in your life and you share it with those that you care about. I really do hope you make use of it. It's been a tremendous blessing and a life-changing set of tools for me.
Yeah, it's all about timing in life. When God opens the doors for things to happen, and I've struggled personally with issues on wanting to not be here in this world anymore. And I was like, God, why did you put me here? Why? What is my purpose of even being here? I tried to make up all these sorts of excuses in my brain to figure out, what is going on. And, God really does have a purpose for every one of us. And, you just got to keep putting in the steps and working towards it. Doors will eventually open. My biggest gift that I received is being able to work with this organization and being able to try and help as many people as we can. We were able to go out there and interact with people, get them engaged in conversation, letting them know this type of issue is going on. And I feel proud as heck. at the end of the day, about every day, I want to kind of do a happy dance because, I feel like I'm making an impact in life now. I feel like I'm shown the
Well,
positive.
because you are,
Yeah,
because you've decided to. It's
exactly.
beautiful watching you walk, brother. It is. We
You know,
celebrate you here, Tyler.
I appreciate that. It's an amazing thing, and seeing people come together, for a purpose, a good purpose. There's so much evil and corruption on the topic that we are involved in, and once we start working together and start making some strides out there, we're going to shine the biggest light you've ever seen on this darkness. And I'm excited for our future, and to see where these creeps are going to be running to next. Then it's going to be amazing stuff that we got
Yeah.
going on.
Well,
Um,
we see a lot of squabble for control over this world, and it's a war. It's a battle over control. And there is good versus evil. We're witnessing it. We can see uh, one side has a diabolical lust for absolute power and control to enslave humanity, to eradicate humanity. There are things that some of us that have been in the intelligence community and who know a lot of these legends in the national security realm at the high end of DOD and federal law enforcement and the counterterrorism realm, that of how the world works. And a lot of you civilians now, what I tell you, what I knew 15 years ago, but couldn't get people to understand. Most of you, I would say, most of probably more than half of you on this cast probably already have seen and understand for yourselves. People are talking about, and it sounded like theory a long time ago, and people are like, no, nobody, they wouldn't do that to humanity. And the realization is, no, you wouldn't do that to humanity. We wouldn't do that to humanity, but they are, and you can measure it. So I guarantee you, the people that are ruining the world, that are fighting for power, but that are so lusty for absolute diabolical control and wealth of every single, they want to own it, literally everything. Those people aren't taking their own lives.
yeah,
It's people who have given and sacrificed and served tragically who are taking their own lives. I can't think of anything more ironic or tragic than those who love and those who serve and those who give tapping out and quitting the fight and leaving the rest of us to do it without you. We need all of our veterans. We need all of our servicemen. We need all of our firefighters. We need all of our people who care about humanity and have served and sacrificed and given in this fight for freedom, liberty, peace, and just a safer place for the little ones, for a restoration of a healthy and peaceful world. We need you. And so, a couple years ago, 2 or 3, 4 years ago, they say it was 22 veterans a day on average were taking their own lives. And I've heard recently, well, they think it may be double that. I'm like, how can that be? So I'd like to revisit this outlook and like, okay, it's not the scumbags that are ruining everything that are taking their lives. Imagine how different this world would be if it was them instead of us checking out, but it's not. So they're not sorry. They don't have any remorse. So I just want to encourage everybody, man, there's a lot for us to do after we get out of the military or police or any other service that our country needs us, man. And we need loudmouths who will speak in a respectful, righteous way the truth and help get legislation through that protects little ones and it makes our country peaceful again and helps get rid of all of the crime again. And so many things that have been intentionally orchestrated and perpetrated upon our country to break it and destroy it so that others may have power, we need all the good people. I mean, we really do. So there's
Yeah,
one
yeah,
thing.
I really agree with everything you're saying, and you know, some more talks about the veterans kind of getting out of service. You know, I've been talking with a lot of friends out there, and a lot of things that people are experiencing when they get out of service is the PTSD and the lack of knowledge of what to do when you're done. What is your purpose? When we're in the military, it's a go, 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 fast paced kind of thing at times. And once we're out, we're off to a new start. It's a different environment that we're dealing with, and they were giving me some good topics that I believe could be helpful in the future, is creating some sort of system that educates uh, people when they're transitioning, some sort of credit type system, and being able to uh, figure out what type of rating these veterans are at, so or what level of trauma are dealing with. That way, they can determine, what style of recovering and healing process journey that they can go about, and making sure that these veterans are not being left behind. Eventually, we could bring it over to the civilian side. So, there's different ways that people are trying to be creative and get out there. It's about people that are in office to open their ears and eyes and listen to these suggestions, and contemplating on what is the best game plan of action to move forward. So, you know, being able to listen and get some of these expert opinions from people, is going to be very beneficial, and being able to work together to accomplish a mission is where I think we need to go.
Yeah.
But some things that I want to get back kind of on our topic for tonight. A message of hope when you think all is lost. I reached out to a friend of ours her name is Rosie Cataldo. She is a trauma informed anti human trafficking prevention educator and trainer. She's also a healing conduit. So she spends a lot of time with people that deal with different types of trauma, and tries to get them on a path of recovery. And, I asked her, some different ways that topics that could open people's eyes to think about. Remember, people would rather connect with you to help and support you than rather attend your funeral. You are not alone out there. There are indeed people who want to come alongside you and help support you. It's up to us to be able to go out there and find those people that are struggling and find them the hope and guide them back into the light. Asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. If you're suffering from addiction, there is no shame in that. You found a coping mechanism. You can learn to develop healthy coping strategies. Connecting with family, school counselors, church, therapists, and friends, anybody that is your peer of mentorship, reach out to those people. If you're struggling, those are the types of people that will take the extra step to help you. If you have undergone some trauma, healing is achievable. And sometimes it only takes a connection with one caring person to help. Life can be painful. The majority of people truly want to help you and want what is best for you. For those willing to start healing, introspection is part of the process. Many suicidal thoughts stem from low self worth due to trauma, a no support system, or a disruption in attachment to a caregiver or parent. Get to know your trauma, unpack it to heal. So, you just got to be able to work these steps and be able to get out there and find what path is best for you. Taking the ACEs quiz, the adverse childhood experiences, to get a feel for where you are in the trauma spectrum and tap into your healing resources to help. Um, Rosie Cataldo is very good on being able to provide us some resources on different healing techniques. She is going to be joining our live next week. So if you guys that are out there have questions for her, come up with them and shoot us a message, and we'll gather them, and we'll have a discussion next week with her on these, and we can dig deep into some more of the aftercare aspect of different types of traumas that are out there. So, Craig, I'll hand it over to you and let you.
All right. So let's talk about this heart of gratitude. So I was always raised to be thankful, and we prayed over our food. We gave thanks. We prayed over each other. We asked God to bless those and heal those that we cared about. This was all normal and standard in my life, but never did I exercise a specific physiological and emotional technique that I discovered just in the last few months until recently. And there's a website called, or an institution called the Institution of Heart Math. It's one word, heart math. And what they've done is they've studied a lot of people in laboratories, including Tibetan monks, and their meditation techniques and why they're able to generate so much electromagnetic energy field from their bodies and so forth. And to me, it goes back to gratitude and faith. When you, because they're saying that these Tibetan monks, they will sit and they will express from their heart, literally the heart muscle. They would touch their heart because wherever your fingers touch, your hand touch, your awareness focuses. So it's important that they say that emanate the emotion from your heart, not from your brain. Yeah, I'm thankful, but to give thanks from your heart. Now, the Tibetan monks focused on compassion, which is it apparently resonates at the same frequency and vibration rate. But for me, I just think about what I'm grateful for, and a lot of times I'll start saying it out loud. Lord, thank you for sparing the life of my daughter. Thank you that she's thriving and healing and doing so well. Thank you for the parents that I've had. Thank you for restoring my health to this degree when it was so bad several years ago. And it's unending. And after, man, just a few seconds, I can feel the emotion just pouring out. And what they say happens is your brain and your heart begin to resonate through your spinal cord, where there are a more extensive nerve bundle between those two organs in your body than any two others. And this electromagnetic field starts emanating in this toroidal field, like a pumpkin shape, out of the top and around and then back in through the bottom, just like any magnetic field. And it starts growing out to about 3 meters from your body. Well, they equate it to the quantum field or the divine matrix, what they used to call the ether. It's what they used to think was empty space between all the particular molecules in the atmosphere and throughout the universe. And it's not empty. There's electromagnetic field there. And they say that that's what your body's electromagnetic field resonates at and interacts with when you're in that heart of gratitude or compassion. So for the Tibetan monks, it's a physical discipline. It's a meditation technique where they build this electromagnetic field intentionally. And in that state, their brain starts cycling at a far superior rate, and they are able to heal their bodies, increase their longevity, adjust their hormonal balance to perfect their hormonal balance, and so many other things. And for me, I don't use it really for any of those things. I use it to pray to God Almighty and to give thanks and to meditate and to hear back from him. And when I do that, I'll start my prayer and meditation every day and just pouring out for a few minutes, just thank you for this, thank you for that, genuinely, and feeling it again, not just, yeah, thanks, thanks for not, it's not like a list, like a toy list for Santa. I mean, you feeling it from that organ and letting that resonance begin to build. You will feel it. I feel my hands and feet buzz very, very strongly after a few minutes. And I start my prayer now with that. Just give thanks for a few minutes before you start talking to God about whatever else you might have to talk to him about. And then if you're going to listen, be in that heart of gratitude state. And I promise you, you will understand much more clearly what God has to express back to you, because you're basically tuned in to the divine matrix, if you will, all the fabric of the universe, the thing that connects, the substance that connects everything together. And so you cannot feel depressed, you cannot feel ungrateful when you're pouring out your heart in gratitude like that. It elevates your mood. It makes your body feel amazing. It brings understanding and a sense of empowerment and focus and direction and well-being that I just can't describe. So I really encourage you to add that to your prayer time. Or if you're like, hey, Craig, I don't pray, okay, add it to your meditation time then. If you're into your health at all, people need to pray. Bible's extensive on, praying, or meditating. It says read the word of God and then meditate on it. Why? Just let it soak in. And that's when it starts to occur to you, the lessons that you process from what you've read, right? Really let it sink in. But when you're sinking in a heart of gratitude and you're connected in the optimal way, man, the lessons are going to occur to you much more deeply and much more clearly. So I do encourage you to exercise that heart of gratitude, teach it to those that you care about, and let it serve you. And what I'm trying to do is return to that as often as I can throughout my day. And my objective, my personal goal, is to see if I can stay in a heart of gratitude all day long, all the time. I think that's a pretty cool goal, and it's made things better. It's made things better. I feel healthier. I feel more focused. I feel more in tune with my life's purpose. Like the big man is like, okay, son, you're doing good. Now here's another asset to help you with the mission. Here's another blessing for your family. You're doing good. And it's just, it's something I can't speak highly enough about. You're going to have to try it and incorporate it into your own life before you understand what I mean. And a lot of people don't get it. I've tried to teach quite a few people about this, and a lot of them nod, yeah. And I'll get them to try it, and they don't understand. They people can't really comprehend pouring out the emotion from the heart. That's something that apparently Americans aren't wired to do. But when you develop it, because I can bring myself almost to tears in just a matter of seconds if I genuinely start thinking about what I'm thankful for. If you've ever begged for somebody's life that you care about and they've been spared, it doesn't take you long to realize how grateful you are. Okay, just as an example, take whatever it is in your life that you're thankful for, but feel that it's the emotion that starts this, because your brain, your heart drives, it's not your brain. Your heart's it developed and a beating in your body as a fetus before your brain is even developed. So the heart drive, the heart's in control of this resonance. The heart starts it, the brain responds, and then they start basically this superhighway of energy between the two of them, and this toroidal field starts building out. But it starts with here. It's the emotion that generates the generator of this whole gift that God created us, divinely created us to have. And I believe that's the way, that the state in which we are to commune with him, to speak with him. Okay. So that's as clearly as I can state it without just beating a dead horse. So I want everybody to exercise that. I would love hearing back as it works for you and you feel it and things start happening in your life and you start figuring some things out and you start feeling better from it. And um, I, it encourages me for you guys to go, hey, Craig, yeah, here's been my experience. So do
Yeah.
that. Just
I
be honest and accurate. Don't exaggerate. I want real scoop.
Yeah, I started, recently getting into this after you started getting me onto it. Being able to connect the heart and mind and finding that piece of energy that's in between it. It really does affect your daily life and such a positive outlook. And I've noticed quite a bit of difference in the last few weeks of being able to implement this, and changing my routine of the way I get up in the morning. What I do is I get up, I listen to an affirmation video, then afterwards it helps me kind of feel more relaxed. Then I get into a mood of gratitude where I start giving thanks to even the small things. One thing that I've been really thankful for in the last few weeks is being able to breathe. That is such a simplest thing that's out there. It's really overlooked, and being able to take the breath. There's so many people that aren't able to do this, and if we can be able to help each other and coach them on taking the tools of steps of being able to find the gratitude and being able to connect the mind and heart, it really puts you in such a higher elevated place to be able to focus and be able to operate your daily lives. So, these aren't just things that, are spewing out, but if you're going to get into this, you really got to let yourself go, release yourself, don't hold on to any control. When I first started getting into it, that's kind of what I was doing. I was holding on to a bit of whatever that is. I don't know if it's fear or something that I was just, holding on to and just grasping, and it just wouldn't let me connect. But I went back to the drawing board and being able to go out there and release that hold that was over me, and being able to connect the dots and finding that positive uh, energy that I want to be able to connect myself with on a daily level. It's it's very powerful, and I hope you guys can take from this and be able to apply it in your daily lives because it's
Conversely,
helping.
yeah.
Yeah,
Conversely, imagine the utter hostility of targeting any group of people and conditioning them, programming them to believe that they are nothing but victims and that's all they'll ever be. And taking that heart of gratitude empowerment from them. Because if you believe that you're a victim of this, that, or the other thing, it's pretty hard to be grateful. And if somebody can do that mind, that Jedi mind screw to you and take your heart of gratitude that your creator created you to be able to communicate and elevate yourself and heal and carry out your positive will in this world, what an ugly undermining of your life and everybody that has been sold into that lie of, oh, you're just a victim. Man, that's robbery. So, folks, we got to see through the hostility of these same people that want power over everything. There's a lot. I won't get into all of it tonight, but there's a lot that they are doing to lower the status of mankind, and so that they can have power. I'm talking about lower our health, lower our spiritual outlook, lower our empowerment, lower our ability to defend ourselves, all of it. And the heart of gratitude is one thing that as I develop it more, I see, I'm like, oh my God, they're targeting these people and taking their heart of gratitude by selling them a lie that they're this, that, or the other thing. Victim is one thing that would cause people to not be grateful for anything. They're not thankful for anything. They think the world owes them all kinds of stuff that it doesn't owe them, and they can never be grateful. So they'll never have that gift. What a horrible, ugly tragedy. So, as you develop this, go share it with others and turn the lights on so that they can find their gratitude and their empowerment and their joy and their power and their life's fulfillment. Because I'm telling you, man, whatever obstacles we navigate, we're better when we're in a heart of gratitude. Whether it be a good day or a bad day, we're better when we're grateful and we know that we are. It's just how it works. That's how we are designed, divinely conceived and designed to function. And don't let anybody take it from you.
Exactly. I talk a lot about being able to help pull each other out of and working together. Like Craig's saying, we're giving these tools, and there's other tools out there. There's no one size fits all type thing, but you guys, this is what we have learned to help us out, and being able to get that and share it to the next person over. This is how you help other people by sharing the positive energy. Positive uh,
Yeah.
energy is going to feed off of one of another.
Once
And
you figured it out, help others, man, because that's going to bless you too. I guarantee it. Like right now, going and cooking for my son, it's going to bless me. He's going to have a big smile when he sees the awesome meal, and his belly's going to be full, and that's just going to bless my socks off, and it feels good. So I've enjoyed the time tonight, Tyler. How about
yes,
you, buddy?
I want to mention, one more thing, a little bit about some of our resources and stuff that you can do to get help. If you're down and you feel like you're on the last lifeline, don't wait. If you can knock it, start taking action before you get to the serious levels, do it. If you start feeling down, talk to somebody. Unload some of that. Like we mentioned in some of the previous things that we've talked about. People would rather be there for you now than when it's too late. So if you feel like you need the help, remember this number: dial 988, and that is the 3-digit number to the suicide hotline. Another avenue of a tool that you can use is type suicide in any search bar that's out there. Let it be your Google search bar or any social media, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all that. If you type in that word, you'll get resources that will appear up there. You can text, call somebody for help. Just make sure that you're going out there and finding the ways to help better yourself. Because it's not the end of the world. We want to get out there and help people. So I want to try and finish this off kind of in a positive note. Then we'll get to a prayer and finish it out of here. Some things that I talk a lot about is a legacy. This is something that I believe that we can all do right here and now. All of us here are going to leave a legacy whether we want to or not. It is up to us to decide on what type of legacy we want to leave this world. Um, Craig, would you like to lead us out in a prayer, and we can start wrapping this up?
Yeah, man. God Almighty, our Creator, we love you back, Father. We love you back, man. And we're so grateful for everything you've given us. Let us see, let us feel and understand how blessed we are. And let everybody within the sound of this cast, Father, find their heart of gratitude and just live in it and elevate through it. And let us shine the light for so many others and lift so many up who were otherwise down. And let us learn how just good that is and how integral of a part of us it really is, that you've designed us to be givers. Let us share gratitude. Let us share compassion and love. Lift so many people up and show everyone who observes the way that we should all try to to become more like, Lord. Jesus showed us the way, Father. Let us follow and be shiners of the light and lift up others along the way, and imagine how much better this world would be if so many people were grateful and compassionate, and that we have a part in bringing that about, Father. For all these things, we are grateful and we thank you. In your name, amen.
Well, thank you all. I want to say we appreciate every one of you all coming in here that has been able to share this message. You know, please take some of the tools that we have labeled out there and get it out to the people that need it, and the people that don't, because those people can help another person that could need it. Like I said, next week we're going to have Rosie Cataldo on. She's a human trafficking consultant, and she deals a lot with trauma. She's very knowledgeable on the case. So if you got questions, bring them to us, and we'll answer them next week. So again, thank you all for coming on, and I hope you all have a blessed night.
See you guys. Thanks for coming.